Hey there, fellow wanderers. As you stand amidst the vast horizons of a desert landscape, the sun hangs perilously close to the horizon, painting the sands in soft strokes of gold and deepening shadows. The air is a tapestry woven with the warmth of the day, and the cooling promise of night a sensory reminder that this land holds untold secrets. A gentle breeze carries the distant aroma of the Nile, intermingled with the earthy scent of stone and dust, grounding you in this ancient setting. This is not a fairy tale, but a reality forged in sweat, ingenuity, and reverence by those who reached across centuries to shape the earth itself. So, before we dive deeper, I ask only this. If this kind of raw, unvarnished truth speaks to you, click like, hit subscribe, and leave a trace of yourself in the comments. Tell me your city, your time, your state of mind. Now, dim the lights. Let the hum of your fan blend with the wind of centuries past. Let's begin. And remember, in medieval times, even survival was a luxury. It begins, as all great undertakings do, with a singular vision, a whisper carried on the wings of power, echoing through halls adorned in gold and opulence. Here, in the heart of Egypt's past glory, a pharaoh's decree resounds. The vision of these towering behemoths isn't drawn upon parchment with modest expectation, but etched into the very psyche of the land, an everlasting testament to divine kinship and temporal rule. You can almost see it, a procession of priests adorned in ritualistic regalia, artisans carrying faint hopes, overseen by a ruler whose ambitions reach as high as the sun sails across the sky. You trudge the shifting sands, feeling the humble weight of gritty grains against your skin, as your mind journeys back into the bustling hive that once buzzed at the edges of these timeless desert sands. The pyramids before you are a grand tapestry of stone, stretched across the heavens, an earthly echo of stars and constellations, whispered to have been carefully aligned with celestial pretensions. But why pyramids? You may ponder, as millions often have. Was it not enough to merely reign supreme while alive? No, the pharaohs, those harbingers of afterlife promise, decreed otherwise. Yet, the howling of construction wasn't merely the clamorous exchange of tools upon stone. It was orchestral in its complexity, from the rhythmic grunt and labor of thousands to the distant symphony of quarries where raw might melded with measured precision. Imagine the cacophony echoing through such a vast workspace, where human determination waged war against immovable mountains of stone. Workers of varied crafts, from the master masons to the water-bearer soul, played their roles in this ancient drama, orchestrated by the pharaoh's decree. Each swing of the hammer calculated, a dance choreographed by necessity and shared purpose. Beneath the decorative embellishments that history has donned upon these feats, there linger the stories of simple souls, of Amun, the stonecutter who revered the patterns etched by his forefathers, of Sekhet, whose whispered tales of the gods played beneath the stars as she toiled into the night, guiding spirits of her kin into the journey beyond. Between each laborer, stories intertwined as tightly as stones mortared into place. Feel the warmth of the desert sun as it ebbs away with each laborious day, subsumed by cool, starry nights that cradle the world in slumber. Imagine resting upon the soft earth, your canopic-filled day seeping slowly away, leaving only the humid air and night's silent guard to envelope you in dreams of eternity and ever-reaching skies. Yet, beneath the cosmic tangle, grounded reality looms large. In the face of its immensity, the question of belief in eternal corner stone spans the mind. Historians still argue whether the pyramids were built chiefly as titanic tombs, or as celestial beacons divining the pharaoh's rightful place among the divine. A resolution eludes even the wisest among them, lost amidst grains of forgetfulness blown away by time. These mammoth structures, birthed of ambition and human will, whisper secrets with hushed reverence. Their sands of time may entice sleep to fold over your weary consciousness, a lullaby sung by the land itself. For you stand at the precipice of slumber in this guardian landscape, each stone above beckoning safety and solacia balm to the soul in this world of ceaseless inquiry. Dream now of lands untouched by modernity, where whispers of the ancients see their reflection in swelling dreams and unraveling yesterdays. Sweet dreams. The sky opens wide over the sun-drenched valley, casting its gaze upon the steadfast pyramids rising like ancient titans. Imagine yourself standing at the very heart of history, where a grand vision took root amidst sands and stars. It is here, in the sacred valleys of Egypt, where a great decree was issued, a command as resolute as the enduring stones themselves. Pharaoh's voice, imbued with the divine right to rule, echoed through the chambers of power, signaling the dawn of an epoch that would defy time. In your mind's eye, envision the scene. A bustling court filled with advisors, priests, and artisans, all gathered in reverence and anticipation. The pharaoh, cloaked in opulence, rises with an air of celestial authority. His eyes, like riverstones polished by time, survey the room with a gaze fixed on eternity. You see those present lean in, keen ears, eager to catch every syllable of this momentous decree. The pyramids shall be born, titanic tombs to cradle the pharaoh's eternal journey. Pharaoh's decree is not a simple command, but a vision infused with grandiosity. Into the annals of history, he aims to carve his legacy feat, not merely of grandeur, but of divine symbiosis. He envisions a monument so vast, so magnificent, that the very gods would descend from the heavens to gaze upon its splendor. You can feel the palpable shift in the chamber, a shared understanding among those gathered that they now stand on the precipice of greatness and toil. As you wander through the vivid tableau of history, imagine the clattering fervor that ensued. Courtiers and architects, artisans and scribes all set their minds to the mighty task ahead. It wasn't just stone to be laid upon stone, but a legacy built upon the fervent whispers of the past and the unstated hopes of future generations. The pyramids were to be a monumental guardian, a testament to human perseverance and divine favor. Yet within this decree, within the heart of the pharaoh's aspirations, there lay a blend of divine mystery and earthly maneuvering. Is it not fascinating to consider that this undertaking was as political as it was spiritual? You might even chuckle at the thought of a pharaoh leaning towards a reflection of his grandeur, whispering, "Let's make Egypt great again." In this desert workshop under the open sky, the whispers of a divine timeline began to take shape in blocks of limestone and granite. Indeed, historians still argue whether the pharaohs chose the pyramid's location for its vantage point over the Nile, or because it offered a celestial alignment to Orion's belter matter that drifts between the sands of academic debate and the starry realm of conjecture. But as these plans spread like the morning sun, a fervent energy swept through Egypt's heartlands. Communities on the fringes of the desert, often overlooked, found themselves thrust into the tidal wave of progress. Even the smallest of villages hummed with new purpose, as lives intertwined with the pharaoh's monumental aspirations. You can almost hear the murmur of markets alive with garbled excitement and haggling, a testament to the gears of commerce grinding into motion. The decree affected all, from the peasants tilling fields along the fertile Nile to the scribes recording each stone's measured weight and angle. They became indispensable cogs in a societal clockwork ticking towards eternity. Picture yourself as one of those artisans, breathing in the clay-scented air as you chisel away at the stone, your contribution to this colossal vision. Just a fragment, yet vital nonetheless. You can almost feel the rhythmic pangs of hammers resonating through the valley as the great project surged forward like a slow, inexorable tide. The unvarnished truth of this ambition is that it was both a labor of loyalty and love, shadowed by the undeniable costs and strains of its creation. Each stone placed bore not just the weight of limestone, but the dreams, aspirations, and dogged determination of those who dared believe. The pharaoh's grand decree was more than a command. It was a calling that demanded the convergence of time, skill, and faith. As the sun dips beyond its horizon, leaving the pyramids silhouetted against the indigo sky, you too must lay down the burdens of your day. Let these voices from ancient corridors of time guide you to rest. The shadows stretch long across the ancient sands, whispering a lullaby spun of stone and stars, cradling you into the gentle embrace of sleep. And so, the narrative that once filled the court with awe and resolve now sails quietly into your dreams. Sweet dreams, yet, as the grandeur of pharaohs and celestial alignments capture the mind and twinkle in the amber glow of past glory, there exists a quieter story, one that unfolds along the sandy banks of the Nile. Here, in the modest shadow of monumental ambition, stretches the world of those whose lives thrummed with the rhythms of earth and stone, the workers and villagers who were the heartbeat of the pyramid's construction saga. Picture yourself ambling down the narrow pathways of these bustling settlements, where simple homes of mud brick stand resolute against the eternal horizon. The fragrance of lotus and papyrus drifts through the air, mingling with the warmth of newly baked bread. Voices rise in harmonies of laughter, song, and chatter, each syllable a thread in the grand tapestry of laboring life. The community is a mosaic of souls drawn from every corner of Egypt, unified by the mighty pull of construction. Here, you find every trade imaginable, from stonecutters and scribes to cooks and brewers, each finding their rhythm within the grand design. The sound of flint tools striking lintel echoes across the settlement, a symphony of chisels against time's unyielding advance. Yet life in the shadow of the pyramids is as nuanced as the task itself. There is a palpable sense of responsibility and camaraderie among the villagers, a shared connection to a purpose that transcends individual labor. Every action, no matter how mundane or monumental, contributes to the burgeoning legacy framed in stone. You can almost visualize the workshops teeming with energies, where artisans become alchemists, shaping raw stone with an expertise entrusted by generations. The rhythm of life is tightly synchronized with the unique demands of construction seasons. Each rising sun witnesses a migration from village to worksite, a procession of humanity drawn towards the towering dreams taking shape in the desert sands. Conveying stones and supplies, the workers become part of a living machine, an organic force meshed with limestone and sweat, ancient and modern at once. As you wander these imaginary streets, you notice an innate wisdom guiding the laborers and builders, a pragmatism derived from generations of passing down traditions. This sense of lineage is more than just spiritual, it is an essential teaching. It reminds you that to build the impossible is to weave dreams with the thread of reality, one guided by an unwavering belief in transcending simplicity through sheer will and acquired knowledge. And this is where the quirks of daily life present their charming contrasts. For instance, did you know that those ancient Egyptians were quite fond of their version of a refreshing drink? This worker's beer, a low-alcohol brew, served not only as a primary form of hydration, but also as a daily sustenance. It was their classic brewskis in another life, offering a quaint touch to the arduous routine on monumental platforms. The day-to-day life here, amongst the orderly chaos, reveals that every contribution matters. Elders share stories of the divine, weaving tales of magic and lore into the daily toil, staving off fatigue with an imagination boundless as the desert sands themselves. These informal exchanges of wisdom become a lifeline, a tether through which workers derive both solace and inspiration. Historians still argue about the motivations undergirding this way of life. Were these laborers volunteers, infused with spiritual devotion and ambition? Was there a trajectory of incentivized labor, offering more than just a craft lesson but a stake in the immortal legacy of Egypt's grand narrative? Many suggest a blend, a fluid mix where spiritual significance and practical benefits danced beneath the harsh African sun. But for all its grandiosity, the living shadow does not thrive merely on historical speculation. Its truth is harnessed through humanity, within stories spun from fibers of legacy and labor, within lives echoing through ancient stones. As dusk falls across this world, smiles exchange freely around cooking fires, casting long shadows that waltz with the flames, tenderly illuminating the human touches behind every monumental accomplishment. And in the comfortable embrace of twilight, as the villagers recount their tales beneath constellations mirrored in the sand-strewn stretch of time, your mind may drift towards sleep, a tender lull, nurtured by the melodious cadence of history. May the gentle hands of dreams guard your rest, as whispers from ancient Egyptian nights tenderly wrap around your subconscious, cradling you in their endless narratives, softening every thought into a tranquil conclusion. Sweet dreams. As the first light of dawn stretches its fingers across the desert sands, the towering forms of the pyramids emerge from the night's shroud, like ancient sentinels standing guard over the heart of Egypt. In this new light, you can almost hear the whispered secrets of mathematical prowess that breathe life into these storied stone, a testament to the advanced understanding of geometry that the ancient Egyptians possessed. Imagine standing beside the architects of yore, tracing lines with your eyes that seem to extend infinitely across the horizon. They wield tools both simple and sophisticated, but their true power lies in their profound grasp of geometry. It's not merely about stacking stones to staggering heights. It's about the symphony of angles, alignments, and proportions that tie them to the celestial dance overhead. You can almost feel the meticulous calculations etched in sand as scribes remark on the golden ratio, a mathematical harmony that threads through the fibers of creation, lending an air of divine symmetry to human endeavors. The pyramids stand as testaments to this knowledge. Each side of the Great Pyramid, for instance, aligns almost perfectly with the cardinal points of the compass, hinting at a mastery of spatial awareness that surpasses mere earthly concern. They're like celestial compasses dropped upon the Earth's face, bridging the gap between terrestrial and divine. This alignment, historians agree, was intentional, though they still debate whether it served purely religious purposes or also celestial navigation. As you wander through this mathematically enchanted landscape, you begin to appreciate quirky details, too, like how the Egyptians meticulously measured time and seasons based on the stars, translating heavenly patterns into earthly manifestations. This cosmic choreography allowed for the precise planning required to undertake such grand projects, ensuring that the pyramids were marooned upon perfect geometrical foundations long before the first stone was quarried. Picture the grand assembly in ancient workshops, where mathematical theories transitioned into grand realities. Here, stones are measured, weighed, and marked. The architects, like conductors before a grand orchestral performance, ensure that each stone resonates with precision, and each angle harmonizes with the Earth's curvature. The workers and architects aren't just moving stones, they're orchestrating a geometric ballet, deriving strength from the hidden harmonies of the universe. This sophisticated understanding wasn't confined solely to pyramid construction, but permeated Egyptian culture and spirituality. They believed that mathematics was intrinsically linked to the divine, a concept that gives one pause to consider, were these pyramids not only mortal tombs, but tangible intersections between the earthly and celestial realms? Spoiler alert. Even ancient Egyptians had their mathematical missteps. One measuring method that might amuse you was using one's own outstretched arms as a measuring tape, what we might whimsically refer to today as Pharaoh factored accuracy. While not all results were perfect, the human touch added a sense of authenticity and liveliness to their projects. But don't mistake this quaintness for simplicity. Egyptians were masters of adaptation, refashioning errors into opportunities. They displayed remarkable ingenuity, creating and employing mathematical tools like the Merket, an early sighting tool used to measure alignment with the poles and stars. This tool was a precursor to the modern plumb bob, further exemplifying the timeless nature of their innovations. Historians still ponder whether the Egyptian mastery of geometry was an inherited tradition passed down from prehistoric cultures, or a revolutionary leap in thinking inspired by their environment. Perhaps it was a synthesis of both a question wrapped in the valley's whispers, sparking curiosity like ancient gas lamps illuminating a temple's threshold. As you stand beneath the open sky and soak in the mathematical marvels and musings, realizing how archaic measures still echo in today's scientific principles, you feel the gentle pull of sleep. The rhythmic cadence of this ancient geometry soothes your soul, luring it into a peaceful state of rest. Let the stone whispers guide your dreams, where mathematics dances silently across cosmic oceans and weaves time and space into a lullaby only eternity can understand. Sweet dreams. As the sun creeps higher in the Egyptian sky, casting elongated shadows across the pyramid's formidable forms, the air hums with the work songs of a bygone era. You find yourself walking among the bustling tangents of human ingenuity, a lively dance of creation that thrives amidst the arid landscape. Here, amid the scatter of chisels and wooden mallets, past and present blur into a rhythmic melody of construction, scored by the tools of ancient stone masters. Inhale deeply, and you may catch the subtle scent of cedar timbera, crucial component in the crafting of tools that dance along these monumental stones. It's within these simple tools and methods that the grandeur of pyramid construction finds its most unassuming heroes. These chisels and awls, made from a humble mix of copper and flint, offered just the right edges to carve history into place, chipping away time and inertia from unforgiving rock. Picture in your mind the steady hands of the craftsman, precise and patient, whose expertise was passed down like torchlight through the generations. Their process combined a pragmatism that seemed almost meditative. Chisel, tap, measure, repeat. Each tool, though basic in its appearance, was crafted with a knowledge that bridged practicality and performance, allowing each stone to nestle perfectly into the grand narrative of these ambitious edifices. Historians agree that copper tools, though soft by today's standards, were surprisingly effective when wielded with skill, demonstrating the Egyptians' innovative spirit. And while some may chuckle at the seemingly rudimentary nature of these implements, they told a story of resourcefulness that echoes with every strike. Quirky anecdotes recount just how the stone dust would mingle with sweat and sun, leaving builders with a patina of time's passage while they worked relentlessly in the lengthening shadows of the pyramids. Indeed, these stalwart tools also highlight ancient Egypt's understanding of metallurgy, alchemical dance of Earth's elements to birth forms that could outlast ephemeral existence. Imagine the forges of the time, blazing gloriously like miniature suns, shaping flames into the copper chisels that, when paired with teamwork and determination, transformed limestone beds into stately blocks. As you angle your thoughts, delve further into these processor show tools and methods relied on the flawless blend of human intuition and nature's gifts. Stone sledges, wooden levers, and weighted counterbalances navigated massive blocks across the valley floor, weaving movement into an immutable foundation. Historians still argue whether sand and water were used to create a slip beneath the stone sledges, but we know that even ancient Egyptians quite literally used earth and water to lubricate life's challenges. This environment, brimming with industrious innovation, was pieced together under the vast open sky like an unfurling scroll. As each new tool met its mark, the pyramid grew incrementally, translating blueprints of divine ambition into an earthly reality. The builder-earthy artists, all wrapped in the clattering chaos of their labor, engraved their legacy not in words, but in actions etched into stone. Yet, within this monumental symphony, a note of humor weaves through the apotropaic myth that involved certain workers using crocodile dung as sunblock. Through the lens of modern convenience, it might raise brows or squelch noses, but hey, desperate times call for you know the rest. So, as you sit back with the contemplative calm of ancient creation swirling in your imagination, listen to the tools speak their timeless language. They murmur of unity human and nature, melded in purpose crafting a narrative with each chiseled mark. Thus, with eyes growing heavy, let your mind's eye gaze upon the dreamscapes of this world, where simple tools and devotion measure time in unfolding dreams, guiding you into a gentle repose. The hammer's lull softens into the rhythm of a heartbeat as ancient echoes weave a tapestry through the silent corridors of slumber. Sweet dreams. As the morning sun peers over the rugged horizon, its rays glint off the moving columns of stone. The great symphony of the limestone quarries spreads through the ancient landscape like the breath of time itself. Close your eyes and imagine the scene. Men and tools together, engaged in a delicate ballet, the raw might of human labor surfacing a fine orchestration of rhythm and purpose. In this sun-drenched quarry, feel the palpable excitement mingling with the perspiring toil that saturates the atmosphere. The dust, whipped up in minuscule storms by the day's activity, dances in the sunlight, settling softly upon leather-bound workers to give them a spectral sheen. The promise of architectural wonder drives their efforts, each clink of hammer against stone, a heartbeat in the cadence of eternity. Alongside them, you witness the laborers hammer and hone in sync. These quarries are more than just veins of stone. They are the birthplaces of ambition, intentions hewn down into blocks, rendering ideas into tangible reality. Tantalizingly, limestone, the quintessential building block of empires, nearly as indispensable as belief itself in this massive undertaking. Hear the muted thump of wooden mallets, the reverberation of copper chisels shaping stone, air punctuated by the sound of stone edges, meeting the sun with a touch as warm as history itself. These blocks, experts suggest, weigh on average 2 tons apiece here, challenge that on its own merits applause. Imagine the workers striking a singular balance of exertion and skill, mitigating chaos with choreography. Take a mental stroll beneath the shade of the surrounding limestone ridges, marked with the indelible grooves of labor. Here, the Egyptians harnessed their simple, yet incredibly effective tools to sculpt massive stone slabs cunningly executed. As we still argue about precisely which techniques they used to accomplish such precision at scale, it sparks a certain wonderment, doesn't it? Modern times offer us a hint that the roped pith scribe forms a straight line along the stone, allowing each delicate tap to guide the stonecutter's strokes in a methodical dance. And, in a quirky nod to modern workplace dilemmas, giant blocks were often labeled with specific destinations in sight to avoid those classic but "I thought you said" pyramid schemes, ensuring that no stone was misplaced in translation. Evidence also whispers of ancient camaraderie sown amidst the clamorth tales spun by labourers in the shade of a stone face, laughter bridging the drone of effort. There's talk of breaks, where bread is shared, beer is consumed, and stories of pharaohs are retold, the sort of exchanges that affirm a shared identity, a binding thread through time that weaves each worker into history's tapestry. Interestingly, despite the grueling environment, archaeological evidence suggests that these workers were not subjected to the draconian measures often associated with pyramid law. Instead, they were afforded sustenance good enough to keep morale buoyed and productivity flowing. Imagine lunches beneath makeshift canopy-shaded respites from the relentless sun. Here, amidst the humour of exchanges and the abundant refreshment of the much-favoured beer, weary spirits lifted. Contentment found its place, defeating fatigue with camaraderie and the patter of rippling water from nearby Nile-fed wells. As the day naturally progresses towards its close, the symphony draws to a calm denouement, the day's final notes, played out against the dying light. The workers' silhouetted forms can be seen retreating over the stone-etched landscapes, each carrying the weariness of achievement in bones and muscles as they follow the setting sun. As evening's cool embrace unfurls, you find yourself drawn to the peace of this moment, journeying through dreams on the sound waves of ancient labor. Close your eyes and surrender to the tranquility of restful night. The murmurings of the limestone quarries, gently lulling your mind to drift upon the waves of time itself. Allow the softened echoes of tools on stone to carry you into sleep, embraced by the music of the ages. Sweet dreams. As dawn sweeps across the golden expanse of Egypt, the Nile awakens to the gentle caress of the morning breeze, its surface shimmering under the emerging sun. You stand at the riverbank, where a network of waterways, like the lifelines they truly were, weave a narrative of migration. Imagine the ancient scene unfolding before U-boats laden with precious stone slices gliding gracefully through the mirrored waters of this sacred river. The Nile, mighty and constant, courses through the heart of Egypt like a benevolent spirit, offering its bounty to those residing along its fertile banks. For the pyramid builders, this river was more than a mere waterway. It was a vital transit of dreams and stone alike. You can almost feel the rhythmic flow of the current beneath your feet, guiding the immense flotillas from quarries far upriver to construction sites brimming with ambition. Witness the bustling docks, where workers busily load heavy chunks of limestone onto wooden barges. The air is filled with the sense of fresh water mingling with soft earth and the unmistakable aura of labor. Gently bobbing barges line the banks, their frames sturdy yet graceful as they boat stone southward, a watery highway to destinations where pyramids touch the heavens. Steps echo on the weathered planks as you watch the operation's meticulous choreography. Men shout instructions over the din, ensuring the stone is balanced and secured for the voyage. Picture the collaboration with the underground trade network Shumble papyrus boats carrying goods and provisions to these fluvial highways, establishing a lifeline as indispensable as the stones themselves. This journey along the Nile wasn't merely logistical, it was a pilgrimage of sorts. Workers, much like priests processing along the current, accompanied the precious cargo to ensure safe passageer, silent prayer for safe delivery carried on the desert winds. Their lives intertwined with the ebb and flow of tradition, serving not just as artisans, but as custodians of a legacy that emerged stone by stone from the river's embrace. In the midst of the river's serenity, One might smirk at the thought of these labourers commandeering their own version of rush hour, albeit on papyrus-beaten boats. Picture them navigating the river with a humour forged in common endeavour, a cheerful banter skating over the rhythm of the paddles slicing through water, a light-hearted reminder of shared humanity sweeping through the ages. At times, the journey was long and arduous, with cargo threatened by unforeseen whispers from Sopdet, the deity of the flooding Nile. Would floods alter their course, casting stones adrift into the alluring depths? Historians still argue about whether the swelling of the Nile was fortuitous timing or a calculated engagement of nature's benevolence, harnessed and circumscribed by man's aspiration. Either way, the river's tide, enshrined as both ally and unpredictable force, was navigated with adept precision, yet they prevailed. Upon reaching their final docking points, stones were unloaded and transferred onto the dry earth. The sounds of splashing water dissipated as the rumble of wooden sledges being hauled up riverbanks took over, each stone echoing the footsteps of countless workers echoing across sandy stretches. With each successful trek completed, the workers' spirits swelled joy embodied in accomplishments measured not only by the weight of stone, but by the minds and hands that tamed its journey. Bonds were forged on this aqueous highway, camaraderie flowing with the river's tide, carrying souls nearer to the great legacy in the making. It was not merely the building of pyramids, but the building of futures and families, unified by both gravel and granules to create something eternal. As the sun sets in brilliant hues beyond the pyramid silhouettes, you let the gentle lull of the Nile's eternal flow guide you towards rest, the water's murmur, an ancient lullaby caressing your senses. The quiet rustle of reeds whispers at the edges of your consciousness, and you find solace in the river-slick dreams where stones float as effortlessly as thoughts upon the gentle stream of night. Sweet dreams. As the gentle drone of the Nile recedes into the background, the ingenuity of ancient minds comes into sharp focus, a testament to the innovative spirit that governed Egypt's grand ambitions. The river's laborious currents were not left unchecked. Rather, they were intricately harnessed to facilitate the monumental transport of stone slabs. It's an engaging tableau that reveals how the ebb and flow of water became a tapestry interwoven with human endeavor, choreographed into a symphony of logistical precision. Envision the vibrancy of the riverbanks where ancient engineers applied their keen understanding of hydrodynamics to the problem of moving massive stones. They utilized the predictable rise and fall of the Nile's floodwaters, transforming the inundation into a seasonal conveyor belt for construction materials. Imagine now how the river, perceived by many as a capricious deity, was masterfully guided to serve the Pharaoh's greater vision. Wooden barges, laden with freshly hewn stone blocks, were launched with calculated timing, utilizing the flood stage to penetrate deep into the heartland. These floating giants sailed in rhythmic tango with the river's pulse, each vessel an embodiment of both hope and forward-thinking strategy. It is an awe-inspiring though. The natural cadence of the Nile was transformed into the powerful lifeblood of monumental construction. One can envision the ingenuity of channeling strategies used to control the deceptive surges of the river. Levees and canals, expertly dug by a workforce familiar with the land's intricacies, offered guiding hands to maintain peace between nature's wiles and mankind's aspirations. They channeled not only the water but ancient wills, threading paths through sun-baked terrain, a tactile homage to human capability united with nature's design. As you immerse yourself further into this teeming landscape, you're met with the flickering tableau of spirits rowed through shifting sun-drenched waters and beneath vibrant cloud-kissed skies. Alongside these laborers, you sense moments of respite times where they found solace in the art of rowing, their minds gently lulled by meditative repetition. These are the ebb tides of effort, where muscle and meditative calm meld to create pathways where tradition and progress might run parallel. Despite the river's relational intimacy with the land, one might smile at tales of minor chaosoff boats encountering each other mid-journey in an aquatic rendition of a traffic jam, a light-hearted reflection of human endeavor. Weather played its role too, bringing spontaneity and unpredictability in a time when communication was still reliant on the speed of voice or a flurry of signal flags reaching for attention against the wind. Historians still debate the greater intricacies of these waterbound operations. The The precise dynamics of steering such heavy-laden vessels, or how they managed the unpredictable interplay between water and wind. Did they employ specialized oars or sails? And how much of this innovation was passed down through oral tradition, before eventually becoming the domain of scribes and scholars? The answers continue to sip ethereally from the well of time, a testament to the resilient secrets cradled in bygone waves. Here, amidst the calls of tradesmen and the whisper of reeds, the journey from quarry to construction site transforms into a statement of purpose, crafted through resilience incredibly ordinary, yet staggeringly monumental. Each ripple, each stroke draws the narrative's line ever closer to realization, building upon itself engendered by both sweat and vision. As you step away from the banks and let the last flickers of sunlight touch upon your thoughts, the lull of distant waters fades behind you, leaving only tranquility in its wake. The water's hushed lullabies linger, resonate with the rhythm of your breath, crafting dreams bound with timelessness. Permit the river's gentle gift to carry you softly into slumber, tempering the restless tides of thought with the patience only flowing water can inspire. Drift into rest upon these ancient shores, cradled as the stones once were upon the Nile's tender embrace. Sweet dreams. As the Nile's gentle whispers recede with twilight, you journey onward, tracing the path from riverbanks to the bustling heart of the pyramid's construction site. It's here, amidst the expanse of desert sands stretching infinitely into the distance, where ancient ingenuity is further unraveled in the meticulous tracks of the past, designed to maneuver these colossal blocks to their destined thrones. Inhale the dry air tinged with the scent of heated stone and earth, as your footsteps echo on pathways once worn by countless others. Imagine, before you, a line of laborers with backs bent in labor, orchestrating the movement of stone with techniques as timeless as the pyramids themselves. Each block represents a respectful nod to both perseverance and problem-solving. The real marvel lies in the simplicity of their methods, yet they bear the sophistication of innovation. Wooden sledges, undeniably rudimentary, yet ingenious in their application, bore the weighty stones on journeys across improvised roads made smooth by strategic planning. Sand, essential yet often overlooked, was purposefully packed beneath the runners of friction-reducing medium that became the silent hero in this tale of transit. And here's a charming touch from history. You might chuckle slightly at the thought of workers slicking pathways with water to further aid the sled's gliding dance. This method did more than facilitate movement. It showed a tangible application of human ingenuity, leveraging nature's gifts. Historians have only recently confirmed this practice, linking scientifically backed evidence to ancient reliefs, depicting these operations with intrigue and inspiration. Imagine the synchronized efforts, where chants and shouted rhythms marshaled groups of workers into unison, each heave of the sled matched by the cadence rooted in shared purpose. What you're hearing isn't just the song of labor, it's a symphony of human intention, the blending of soundtrack and sweat a testament to the masterpiece being crafted under the desert sun. Theories abound, wrap themselves around the question of ramps. Were they used enough to ensure access to upper levels? Did these ramps spiral around the pyramid's facade, or were they straight, extending grandly like the trunk of a desert palm reaching towards the gods? Despite being fragments caught in speculative winds, each suggestion offers insight into a civilization unrestrained by the scope of its dreams. As you walk these imagined pathways, you'll discover that despite the understatement of its resources, this ancient workforce fashioned solutions as sophisticated as any generated by modern machinery. It's a lesson in melding the natural with the creative, in crafting functionality from the raw marrow of available materials. The process remains a subject of debate and amazement. Historians still argue about whether certain ramps required supplementary within is the structure designs to build to such heights, or whether external extensions upped the complexity to meet ambition's lofty call. The notion alone sends whispers through the neurons, dancing with curiosity and intellectual delight. Step close enough in this dreamtime to witness the anticipation that swirls around each moment of successful placement. Thou cheers ripple through workers and the unseen echoes of desert winds. Satisfaction and collective pride throb in time with the heartbeat of creation as these stones find home within the tapestry of an era. As the sun retreats, embracing the horizon with colors richer than most imaginations dare conjure, the hum of desert quiets. You pause, absorbed by the serene grandeur that remains, where every block fixed, every structure of purpose echoes through the dusk. Close your eyes now and rest. Allow the sense of accomplishment that saturated those ancient sands to seep into your consciousness. Dream of paths built by humble hands, of shared rhythms, and the flow of innovation shaped by myriad minds. With thoughts unfurling upon the breeze like sand, release the day's weight into the deepening twilight, balanced by the ancient knowledge that time's journey, stone-laid and timeless, continues even in dreams. Sweet dreams. As the sky transforms into a canvas of twilight hues, the palpable energy surrounding the construction of the pyramids lingers in the air. You find yourself back in the bustling heart of ancient Egypt, where the task of moving and lifting massive stone blocks becomes an intricate dance between human ingenuity and the Earth's gravitational pull. Imagine the spectacle, coordinated effort, as teams of workers haul these massive giants, each weighing as much as an Indian elephant, toward their destined place in history. Envision the lively scene, a flurry of activity where ropes and pulleys become extensions of human will. The ingenuity on display is nothing short of remarkable, each method employed reflecting a profound understanding of physics, even if unconsciously. It was here, in the shadows of monumental ambition, where great stones were coaxed into towering realities. Ropes crafted from reeds, and woven with the strength to oppose Earth's dragons, formed the lifeline of construction, linking the hands of workers to the weight of dreams. These endeavors involved pulling team scores of laborers straining in tandem, bound together by both rope and resolve. Their synchronized might and shared direction embody a harmony between man and material seldom seen in the modern age. Feel the energy in the air, a blend of camaraderie, a united effort magnified by cries of exertion and triumph that competed with the desert wind. Yet, within this grand tapestry of human ambition lies hidden charm and an endearing touch of humor. Imagine the leadership employed cheerfully, perhaps chanting and coaxing encouragement, gradually morphing into light-hearted mockeries when spirits faltered. Don't let the block beat you, let's make Ra proud. Historians still argue whether ramps themselves were the ultimate method or part of a suite of techniques employed to lift and maneuver these stones skyward. Did a series of levers and counterweights help unlock the mechanical mysteries buried in sun-baked foundations? The very essence of these mechanical feats fades into the sepia-toned corners of antiquity, leaving contemporary minds enthralled by the possibilities. Imagine, too, the specialized techniques used for finer placementhau lines were drawn across stones with precision akin to a surgeon's scalpel, ensuring alignment that would outlast millennia. Precision unmatched, each block fitted into its neighbor like puzzle pieces crafted in the workshops of forgotten gods. The deafening sound of stone meeting stone echoes through the Ajeza, resonant affirmation of triumph, rendering silence with breathtaking clarity. Intriguingly, quirks and unexpected feats abound. Anecdotal records hint at the use of cranes' rudimentary forms, displaying embryonic stages of the cranes we know today, a testament to the Egyptian penchant for experimentation in the face of Herculean endeavors. But even these stories waver between fact and the imaginative embellishments that time tends to weave into its historical narratives. Today, as you reflect, imagine the pyramid's facade, slowly growing with each expertly placed stone. Watching the past unfold in this manner allows you to appreciate not only the feat itself, but the dedication writ in sweat and discipline behind every sandstone crevice. It's a realization that while methods remain subject to debate, the legacy is undeniably a tribute to human aspiration and collective capability. With the day waning, you find yourself lulled by the continuity of such achievement, of legacy crafted and etched into the flesh of the very desert. Step back and let the imposing presence of the pyramids fade slowly into the night's embrace, casting off its stories to mingle with starlight. Breathe deeply and let go. Embrace the sound of stone harnessing whispers of ancient engineers and planners, the gentle rustle of desert winds, and the echoes of silent blocks swaying your mind into restful slumber. Repose gently in the comforting notion of time and space, harmonized beneath this majestic canopy of starsa celestial canvas, where dreams continue to dance on the weight of eternity. Sweet dreams. Under the soft glow of a crescent moon, the Great Pyramids loom against the night sky, their silhouettes bathed in a celestial light that hints at secrets yet to be uncovered. You find yourself wandering among the desert sands, where the enigma of ancient engineering unfolds, a puzzle of elevation, solved by the ingenuity and tenacity of builders, whose whispers echo across the ages. It's here that the mysterious ramp theories take center stage, offering a fascinating glimpse into the ancient minds that dared to lift mountains. As you picture the scene, imagine the grand sight of long, gradually sloping ramps constructed from mud brick and limestone chippings, sprawling across the desert floor like serpents reaching toward the sky. In their simplicity, these ramps facilitated the impossible, transforming human effort and ingenuity into an architectural feat that flouted gravity itself. There are whispers, however, of alternative designs, a series of zigzagging or spiraling ramps that perhaps encircled the growing structure, each turn a testament to the builder's ability to adapt and innovate. Historians continue to speculate whether these ramps were external, branching off expansively over the sands, or internal, hidden within the pyramid itself, each theory weaving its way through scholarly discourse like the Nile winding through the Egyptian landscape. Feel the palpable energy thrumming through the lives of those who labored upon these ascending paths. Imagine the determined procession of workers, like ants in their resolute march, hauling stone blocks upward with a cascade of shouts and chants. Wooden sledges groaned and slid along the earthen paths, each movement resonant with a timeless cadence that provided both rhythm and purpose. And let's not forget the occasional quirk cows and donkeys roped into service for a touch of comedic relief and logistical necessity in equal measure. One could almost hear the oft-repeated warning barked amidst laughter: "Watch where you step, lest the beast has left a present behind." Engage further with this ancient marvel, and you might find yourself pausing to consider the paradoxical blend of simplicity and sophistication inherent in their methods. Historians still argue whether there were adjustments made in real time versus pre-laid plans, a topic that resonates with the improvisational essence imbued in any great work of human endeavor. As the pyramid climbed higher, so too did daring innovations emerge, more sophisticated pulley systems, perhaps counterweights hidden from history's gaze, yet hinted at in archaeological whispers. These unknowns weave through the narrative, challenging even the sturdiest of historical conclusions, and glossy-eyed enthusiasts may wonder about a lost memento of technology operating in ancient shadows. Yet, the beauty of this endeavor comes not solely from the method, but from the harmony of intention driving it. The rhythmic pull of labor, where engineers melded their calculations with craftsmen's intuition, where priestly advisors huddled with laborers beneath shared cosmos, deciphering celestial enigmas scribbled across the night's blackened canvas, became the true art of pyramid building. In this quiet, contemplative moment, the realization dawns. The ramps stand not merely as utilitarian accomplishments, but as metaphors for life's enduring ascent from valley to peak, from vision to reality. As you look up into the starlit sky, remember that these ramps and levered stones echo a sentiment much larger than the mechanics of physics. They resonate with deeply human endeavor and an indomitable will to touch the divine. With dusk now wrapping itself tenderly around the world, let your mind saunter gently down the ramps of imagination, releasing the threads of hundreds of tales spun around these stones. Allow their timeless essence to temper your thoughts as the weight of their history swaddles you in a cocoon of tranquility. Drift into sleep, cradled by stories of ascent, of myriad souls who whispered to the stars, crafting legends in stone and sands. And as your mind drifts on the soft whispers of night, may the dreams that follow reflect only harmony and peace. Sweet dreams. As dawn casts its delicate light over the desert, the world awakens to the chorus of life emerging from the shadows of the pyramids. You find yourself immersed in the vibrant tapestry of humanity that forms the heart of this colossal endeavorthy community of hands, each playing a critical role in the symphony of creation. It is here, amid the hum of industrious activity, that the dynamic labor force reveals its complexities, shaped by the rhythms of ancient life and ambition. Imagine walking through bustling encampments that lie in the pyramid's formidable shadow. They are alive with the sounds of craftsmen, laborers, and artisans, each voice adding to the soundtrack of construction. Take a moment to observe the intricate web of interactions, where relationships are forged through shared toil and triumph. This community is far from monolithicate, is a mosaic of skills, talents, and backgrounds. To imagine the labor force purely as slaves shackled to the stones is to overlook the stories etched into the very fabric of history. The reality is far richer and more nuanced. Among the workers are skilled artisans whose knowledge of stone and tool is unparalleled. They are the master masons, those who transform quarry-fresh limestone blocks into finely honed elements of the grand design. Feel the reverence in their craft, as they guide their tools with a precision that seems instinctual, yet is honed by years of passed-down expertise. Beside them, you find seasonal laborers, farmers drawn to the construction site during the inundation when their fields are submerged. They bring with them the strength and resolve born from working the land, an essential complement to the permanent workforce. Their presence adds a rhythmic ebb and flow to the projectone shaped by the annual rise and fall of the Nile's waters. It's here that laughter rings out, camaraderie blossoming amidst the laborious task of pyramid building. Picture men gathered after a long day's work, sharing stories and meals, finding comfort in communal fires that flicker against the twilight. Here, beer and bread are as much currency as the copper tools used by Dyer, light-hearted nod to the shared humanity that underpins each block placed in history's shadow. And the debates that sustain us commended by history's echo. Historians still argue about the nature of this labor force. Were they paid workers, rewarded not only with sustenance, but also with pride in contributing to a lasting legacy? Or were most driven by spiritual motivation, a divine duty to ensure the Pharaoh's eternal journey? The truth may well reside in a convergence of labor and faith, a testament to the complex socio-religious fabric that colored life in ancient Egypt. Listen closely, and you might even hear the playful banter and ancient form of workplace humor on how the builders adjusted for the occasional obstinate donkey or unruly group member. These moments paint human quirks across the grand portraits of history, reminding us that beneath the layers of stone are stories that tickle the heart. And then, as the sun dances lower on the horizon, turning the sands a deep amber, the workers return to their camp. Each night, they lay down under the celestial tapestry that blankets their dreams, thoughts mingling with the timeless inferno blazing above, an eternal reminder that they are indeed part of a grander narrative. So, as the vision of artisans, laborers, and farmers gently fades into the encroaching dusk, find solace in the idea of community, a place where hands join together, each bound by the eloquent simplicity of shared purpose. Close your eyes and let the warm glow of camaraderie light the corridors of your slumber. Inhale the softness of the evening air, imbued with the echoes of ancient laughter and whispered stories. Feel it guide you gently into sleep's embrace, where dreams reflect a tapestry woven from millions of voices, forming a lineage of resilience and unity that continues to inspire across the ages. Drift comfortably on these whispers, bathed in the legacy of countless hands that shaped stone and time. Sweet dreams. As the first glimmers of dawn sprinkle golden light upon the pyramid's angles, the ancient structures shimmer with an otherworldly glow, as if touched by the very gods they were built to honor. In this moment of ethereal beauty, you step into a realm where the divine and the earthly collide, a sacred space under the watchful eyes of Ra, the sun god, whose presence was ever felt but never seen. Imagine yourself standing at the threshold of a pyramid, a monumental gateway between worlds, where the spiritual significance guiding this colossal venture becomes palpable. The pyramids were more than just architectural marvels. They were profound expressions of the Egyptians' spiritual life, designed meticulously to harmonize with the divine forces that guarded the balance of the universe. Feel the reverence in the air and the subtle sense of awe that permeates the site. Workers, guided by a deep spiritual devotion, approached their tasks not merely as labor, but as sacred duty. Each stone they set, each line they scribed, was an offering to the gods, a testament to piety that reached skyward in pursuit of celestial favor. Imagine them casting stones as prayers cast into the vastness, each one imbued with the hope of connecting with eternity itself. And what an elaborate tapestry of beliefs this was. The ancient Egyptians saw their world as an intricate network of cosmic forces, with every detail linked to the divine. The pyramids' alignment with the cardinal points and their orientation towards the rising sun were carefully calculated to reflect cosmic order and harmony. They drew celestial maps in stone to guide the pharaohs through the underworld, ensuring their safe passage into the afterlife, a journey most sacred and serene. Pause to consider how deeply ingrained these spiritual beliefs were in daily life. The builders might have found solace in the knowledge that their arduous work was redemptive, spiritually nourishing, and intimately connected to divine purpose. Within this environment, it wasn't just stone and mortar that bound the structure, but spiritual confidence that whispered through every crevice. Historians still debate whether the rigorous spiritual protocols to be followed were dictated by the priesthood or inherently understood by the populace, a reflection of how intertwined the sacred was with the secular in ancient Egypt. Here was a culture where geometry spoke the language of the gods, where architecture was not just design but an extension of prayer, transcribed in light and shadow upon the earth. In a playful aside, consider the workers' banter, perhaps full of jest, about Ra's favoritism. How his light seemed to stubbornly favor certain stones over others. The gods, after all, were as capricious as they were mighty, and like divine weather, their whims were to be respected and occasionally teased. As the sun sets, casting long shadows, imagine the quiet, meditative moments where workers stood in reflective silence, contemplating the vastness of both project and purpose. The night sky would replace the golden glow of day, emblazoned with stars guiding the spirits onward, watched over by the eternal gaze of Osiris, Lord of the afterlife. Their work did not end with the setting sun. It continued through legacy and lore, bridging worlds and generations. So, as you stand before these monumental structures, let their sacred whispers wrap gently around your senses. Allow yourself to be lulled into a state of peace by the divine harmony that guided the hands of the past. Breathe deeply and feel the comforting embrace of celestial eyes watching over this terrestrial endeavor. Close your eyes now. Let the resonant hum of devotion and duty lull you into the gentle hands of sleep. Within dreams, sail through the night skies, borne on the wings of whispered hymns that sing of eternity and stone, and the light of the sun god bathing you in warmth as you journey into restful repose. Sweet dreams. As the evening sky drapes its velvet canopy over the Egyptian landscape, the pyramids stand as solitary sentinels, guarding secrets woven into their colossal stones. You find yourself venturing into the shadows of these enigmatic structures, where the mysteries of internal chambers and passageways beckon like whispers from a forgotten world. Their cool, dark interiors offer a stark contrast to the sunlit expanses outside, a hidden realm where every corridor promises another secret waiting to be unveiled. Imagine stepping into the cool confines of the Great Pyramid of Giza, enveloped in a sense of profound mystery. The temperature drops noticeably, and the atmosphere changes, thickening with the weight of history and the unending silence only echoed by the depths of stone. It's here that simplicity yields to complexity, where the architectural prowess of the ancients manifests in intricate passageways and sacred enclosures. Feel the smoothness of precisely cut stones under your fingertips, their ancient surfaces polished by eons. Each stone tells a tale, silent witness to the ingenuity required to carve these sacred spaces from the heart of the pyramid, a sanctum designed to bridge the earthly and the divine. You wonder at the precision, at the deft hands that engineered a labyrinth that served both ceremonial and practical purposes. As you traverse these passages, you encounter the celebrated king's chamber central to the ascension mythologies that governed beliefs of life beyond death. It's a formidable architectural achievement, crafted from enormous blocks of granite, aligned with the starry hosts. It's thought that this chamber was the pharaoh's celestial gateway, a place where they would transform from mortal sovereign to divine entity, ready to join the pantheon of deities. Mysteries abound as you delve deeper, with secret passageways and chambers teasing at more profound purposes. Historians continue to debate their function, pondering whether some spaces served as traps to deter tomb robbers, or as pathways meant exclusively for the spiritual journey of the soul. Were certain structures designed with acoustic properties in mind, amplifying the chants and prayers meant to resonate through eternity? The possibilities echo through the stones, inviting speculation and wonder. And while this sacred architecture was meant to outlast time itself, it also catered to the whims of the era. You might chuckle at the thought of some chambers being used for the safekeeping of treasures wealth that ensured the pharaoh's comfort in the afterlife, tucked away under layers of secrecy, only to be unearthed by charismatic adventurers or determined archaeologists centuries hence. In this subterranean womb, the merging of functionality, faith, and forethought is eminent. The ancient builders, armed with sacred and practical understanding, crafted a refuge that whispers of eternal preparation. It's also here that you feel the gentle tug of myth, as poetic as the starlight streaming through the narrow shafts leading outward. Historians have often pondered whether there might be undiscovered chambers within the pyramids, hidden away awaiting the right eyes or technology to reveal their secrets. Are there stories still waiting to be told? Narratives cemented within walls yet to be breached? The allure of these unexplored spaces fuels the imagination, a shadowy invitation to archaeologists and storytellers alike. As you emerge back into the moonlit expanse, savor the peaceful simplicity bestowed by this complex puzzle of surfaces and shadows. Reflect on the layering of human dreams enshrined in stone, revealing the boundless spirit within the confines of passageways and enclosures carved with foresight and devotion. Let these echoes follow you as night smooths and softens the edges of your consciousness. Allow the sacred silence of the pyramid's core to cradle your thoughts as you descend into sleep, lulled by the mysteries woven through your dreams. Here, in the heart of timeless stone, find your rest in the promise of secret worlds yet to be whispered into awakening. Sweet dreams. As the warm desert night yields to the first light of dawn, the pyramids glow with a golden hue, reminiscent of the divine light they were meant to capture. You stand at the threshold of an ancient journey, about to discover the sacred burial rites so integral to the purpose and grandeur of these timeless giants. Here, every stone and every pathway within these sacred constructions has a story to tell, a story of life, death, and the promised rebirth of a pharaoh. Picture the solemnity of the funeral procession making its way to the pyramid, each step a deliberate echo in the anvil of history. The air buzzes with a mixture of incense and the sounds of recitations, incantations, chanted to guide the deceased pharaoh into the afterlife. Feel the reverence and gravity that surrounds these rites, as priests and mourners participate in a ceremony that is as much about renewal as it is about farewell. Embedded within the funeral rituals lies a rich tapestry of beliefs about the afterlife, intricately woven into the very structure of the pyramid. The ancient Egyptians envisioned their pharaohs embarking on a journey to join the gods, a voyage that required both spiritual and physical preparation. The pyramid, then, served as a spiritual vessel, its shape mirroring the rays of the sun each side, guiding the spirit onward and upward. The burial chamber itself, hidden deep within the pyramid's heart, becomes a portal of transformation. Here, the pharaoh's body is carefully entombed, surrounded by riches and artifacts that speak of earthly triumphs and divine aspirations. These treasures are not mere symbols of wealth. They are essential tools for the life beyond and compensations offered to the deities to ensure the pharaoh's place among them. Step into the chamber in your mind's eye, the sanctity of this ultimate resting place palpable in the air. The walls, adorned with images and hieroglyphs, detail the pharaoh's deeds, alongside spells and maps that chart the journey through Duat, the underworld. It is a guidebook for navigating the trials and tribulations that await, a spiritual GPS for eternity. Amongst the sacred objects lies the pharaoh's canopic jars, containing organs carefully preserved for resurrection. Each jar, with its individualized deity lid, represents the protection and preservation of bodily integrity for the quest ahead. Historians still ponder the power imbued in these practices, wondering whether they were believed to affect the material world or simply the immaterial one. In such a place as this, even the tiniest detail holds cosmic significance. Ankh symbols nestle beside the sarcophagus keys to life everlasting, while provisions of food and drink offer sustenance on such a consumptive journey. And does one spare a thought for the Ka, spirit, that must be nurtured to ensure the safe passage of the king? Imagine, too, the family and closest aides of the pharaoh gathered in muted reflection just beyond these inner sanctums, participating in rites that affirm their ruler's transformation. There's something humbling about the convergence of hieratic formality and heartfelt mourning. Here, beneath swathes of linen and scarab talismans, the pharaoh's restless journey commences to where eternity blossoms beneath the god's gazes. As you reflect upon this grand cycle of death and rebirth, adorned with mystery and devotion, remove yourself to an imagined distance, yet let the enigmatic allure of living mythos stir the senses and dreams. The revered kings may lay in stone casings deep within these massive structures, but so too do the dreams and stories of countless artisans, priests, and enduring ambitions. Allow this solemn atmosphere to cradle your transition into rest, where the whispers of ancient rites coax your thoughts into the gentle arms of sleep. Leave behind the unrest of the modern world, soothed by the eternal embrace of a culture steeped in continuity and cosmic balance. Rest now, entwined with the secrets of ancient Egypt, uncovered in the light of your dreams. Sweet dreams. As the gentle hush of dawn envelops the pyramids in a tender embrace, you find yourself among masters of an ancient art world where chisels and brushes became instruments of history. On these monumental canvases, artisans etched and painted the soul of a civilization, preserving tales for generations as yet unborn. Welcome to the realm where craft became legend, and every stroke of the brush echoed the whispers of the divine. Imagine standing in a workshop alive with activity, the air rich with the scent of mineral pigments and the fine dust of limestone. Here, under the watchful glare of Egypt's golden sun, the artisans worked tirelessly, applying their deft skills to render the eternal anatomies of gods, kings, and the narratives that bridged earth and sky. It was an atelier where artistry and precision converged, a veritable cradle of creation. Feel the vibration of the craftsman's chisel as it bites into stone, each strike deliberate and rhythmical. These artisans, more than mere decorators, were storytellers of the ancient world, breathing life into the stone with each meticulous incision. Their hieroglyphic scripts flowed across the surfaces, a continuous narrative thread that wove together the history, religion, and daily life of a grand civilization. In these inscriptions, every character resounded with significance, a spiritual currency that underwrote the very sanctity of the pharaoh's afterlife. The artisans' palettes were as varied as the stories they told. A vast array of colors mixed from ochres and precious stones triturated into pigments that sang against the pyramid's cool limestone. Pass your fingers through vibrant blues and sunset reds, witnessing the ancient alchemy where art made magic tangible. Each shade had meaning: blue for the Nile, a life-giving presence; green for rebirth, echoing fields after the flood. And amidst this artistry, quirky rituals emerged like painters, adding bits of their own hair to their brushes, believing it imparted the strength and longevity of their craft. It painted not only in the literal sense, but also imbued the work with pieces of themselves, bridging creator and creation in a symbiotic bond. As these artisans etched stories into stone, they kept alive the sacred knowledge of the pyramid text spells and prayers, meant to protect and guide the soul of the departed. These texts, beautiful and potent, capture the essence of ancient beliefs that persist even between time's immeasurable breaths. Here, historians still debate whether these texts were the metaphysical roadmaps of spiritualists or tangible records for posterity, a topic that continues to dazzle the intellectual corridors of modern inquiry. In some chambers, we find reliefs carved with exquisite detail, depicting scenes not just of deity and royalty, but of everyday life. Workers in fields, ceremonial hunts, echoes of laughter frozen in time, the artisans immortalized a composite portrait of a civilization steeped in tradition yet rhythmically alive within the flow of time. Picture yourself amongst these artists, channeling divine inspiration to leave your imprint upon the universe. Each carved line and brushstroke, a pledge to posterity, a token testament to an unbroken continuity that spoke across the ages. Under the artistry lies an understanding. Creation here seeks to defy oblivion, to ensure a legacy that resonates, rippling through time's expansive river. And as dusk unfurls its gentle cover over the tactile artistry etched into cold stone, feel the warm embrace of history's guardians shooing away the day's toil. Allow yourself to drift gently back from this sacred space, holding the whispers of chiseled ambition close to your heart. Cradle your thoughts within the comfort of this artistry, as you allow each hieroglyph, every brushstroke, to guide you into the nurturing folds of sleep. Rest in the knowledge that while stones may fade and colors may mute, the stories they weave endure within the hushed echoes of time's tender embrace. Sweet dreams. As the first light dapples across the dusty stones of antiquity, you immerse yourself in a world where ancient secrets whisper through the corridors of time. Here, within the shadowy recesses of the pyramids, you encounter the secret language of the ancients, the hieroglyphs where curvilinear symbols capture the collective wisdom of a bygone era. Today, we unravel the enigma of these secret hieroglyphs, unlocking tales hidden in the ductile embrace of stone. Visualize the artisans, their hands steady as they painstakingly carve symbols into the pyramid walls, reverent ritual that transforms simple script into conduits of spiritual potency. Amidst the layers of time, each hieroglyph tells a story steeped in legend and mysticism, a narrative etched not just to communicate, but to immortalize, offering a glimpse into the lives and beliefs of ancient Egypt. The hieroglyphs act as both historical record and spiritual guide, providing insight into everyday existence and loftier metaphysical endeavors. Imagine yourself tracing the delicately hewn lines that form images of kings and deities, scenes of battles and ceremonies, encoded within these symbols like keys to an unseen realm. With each curve and line, you sense a tether to the past, a bridge over the chasm of time. These hieroglyphs also harbor an array of fascinating and quirky stories. Picture this. A scribe cheekily masks a less than flattering comment about a high-ranking official, enveloped within the flowery prose of a royal decreean, artistic flourish that elicits a wry smile. Historians still ponder whether such subtle deviations were acts of sanctioned humor or small acts of rebellion hiding in plain sight, spicing the narrative with human creativity. And while it was believed that these symbols were tools of sanctity and magic, they were also meant to secure the passage of the soul through the afterlife. The hieroglyphs guided spirits through a labyrinth of trials, promising safe passage to the sunlit realms of eternity. Scholars debate whether some of these deeply spiritual messages held esoteric meanings lost over the millennia, or if they might still harbor secrets waiting for modern minds to discern. There are even tales of undiscovered texts, like echoes long awaited, hidden in shadowy passages or behind false walls. Mysteries wrapped in the veil of intrigue suggest that pyramids still harbor secrets untold, narratives waiting silently for their moment to resound in scholarly halls and ignite imaginations anew. As you contemplate the silent eloquence of these symbols, consider their role beyond the functional. Within them lies Egypt's drive for continuation, an unwavering belief in the harmony of existence portrayed in a mystical script unfurling like pages strewn across terrestrial firmament. The meticulous translation of celestial balance into curvilinear forms remains a reminder of a truth unconfined by mortal timeline. These hieroglyphs, while steeped in sacred meaning, reveal the humanity woven through ancient ambitions, weaving personal sagas with cultural mandates in bold strokes along spiritual trajectories. Engaging within these walls transforms the written into lived experience, offering a transcendent glimpse into a connotation of eternity. As the desert twilight fades, and the day's light begins to soften against the chiseled facades, release your wonder to drift calmly into night's embrace. Let the symphonies of whispers guide your journey into dreams and mysteries, carved by hands now stilled yet never forgotten. Ensnare the eternal in your dreams, woven together by the secret hieroglyphs dancing across the canvas of starlit skies. Find solace in the timeless continuum, as visions of a world alive with meaning carry you forth into a gentle slumber, secure in the communion with a narrative carved for eternity. Sweet dreams. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the desert with hues of burnt orange and deep indigo, you stand amidst the timeless pyramids, feeling the weight of history pressing gently against the night. In this hallowed space where pharaohs once stood firm in their earthly dominion, whispers of dissent and accord float through the air echoes of ancient debates that have long since settled into the sands. Tonight, you explore the echoes of humanity's nuanced history, illuminated by the flickering flame of curiosity. Imagine this setting not just as a domain of visions and grand designs, but as a living, breathing hub of society where thousands toiled amid hopes, dreams, and the unyielding murmur of daily life. Here, amidst the dust and stone, debates and discussions simmered, just as they do today, albeit within the unique rhythms of an ancient world. Explore the layers of community, where the human spirit finds both harmony and discord, a delicate dance that breathes life into the monumental task. Consider the overarching narrative that presents the pyramid's construction as a harmonious endeavor, driven by collective spiritual devotion. Historians still argue about whether the pyramid project was always marked by such unity, or if dissent lurked beneath the surface, masked by the sands of time. Did every heart beat in unison with pharaonic ambition, or were there hushed murmurings of unrest obscuring the grand facade? Picture the workers themselves, a blend of skilled artisans, conscripted farmers, and those drawn by the promise of changing fortunia, mosaic of humanity, each with a unique story etched into their sun-baked skin. Perhaps amidst the camaraderie stood those who questioned the endless quest of dragging stone upon stone, endless labor under Ra's watchful eye. You might smile at accounts of workers grumbling humorously beneath their breath about the heat and dust, or the sudden and inexplicable, yet oft-repeated, accidents, their own wry contributions to the ageless critique of management. Through this lens, humor acts as the great human equalizer, as alive in the past as it is today. Adorned by curiosity, some scholars suggest factions within this cauldron of labor, guided by human ambition, tension, and perhaps even jealousy or intrigue. It raises the question: did ambitious overseers bend rules in their bid for power, adding personal flair to the mix of divine pity and vigor that spurred progress forward? Or did the workers see themselves as partners with divine mandate, driven by more than just earthly reward? These woven textures reveal an orchestra of life where music and dissonance played side by side. The oscillations between unity and disagreement, cooperation and competition contribute to a fuller understanding of these incredible feats. Such human dynamics resonate across time, reverberating within the scattered glyphs and muted voices beneath the stones. As you stand in this space where sun meets shadow, lodge your thoughts within the melodic balance of this history. Feel the complexity of human experience, unfurling through the pyramid's vast embrace. Embrace both the harmonious CD tutti and lively improvisations marking ages past. As stars gently blanket the Egyptian sky, let your thoughts settle, coaxed by echoes of mortal musings that once filled these sacred sands. Allow yourself to draw near to the mysterious layers within humanity's grand narrative, the delicate interplay within the pages of a story written across generations. Let the night envelop your curiosity in its gentle folds, where dreams blossom under guiding stars. Rest now, your journey through time nurtured by the harmonious embrace of echoes, both heard and imagined songs of eternity that continue to cradle the thoughtful wanderer. Sweet dreams. As the moon casts its silvery glow over the pyramids, they stand as steadfast guardians against the march of time, their very presence evoking the mesmerizing allure of ancient mysteries. You tread softly through ancient sands, drawn towards the tales of tombs designed to baffle and deter the enigmatic traps and deceptions that guarded these monumental tombs from the eternal threat of tomb raiders. Imagine standing at the entrance to a pyramid, where shadows dance playfully in the pale light, teasingly invoking the secrets hidden within. These massive structures were not only monuments to life and death, but formidable fortresses crafted to preserve the sanctity of the pharaoh's eternal abode. The architects and artisans were akin to master illusionists, embedding within stone a labyrinthine network of secrets that still captivates and confounds. Picture the intricate series of passageways and corridors that lead to the pharaoh's final resting place, engineered with misdirection in mind. The labyrinth was a deliberate tangle of twists and turns, corridors that began boldly only to end in solid stone or drop away into unseen depths. These architectural sleights of hand, intended to guard against those with avaricious intentions, censuring they wandered in circles, consumed by frustration in the face of formidable design. In this quest of deception, legend tells of hidden room traps laden with sand, designed to bury the unwary, an ancient precursor to the clever contraptions of latter-day tales. Gleeful yet chilling anecdotes of such cunning innovations float down the corridors of time, colored by both embellished lore and probable truth. The more daring might smirk at mental images of misinformed treasure seekers nursing bumps and bruises, dissuaded by the pyramid's labyrinthine embrace. Historians continue to delve into whether these traps were mere mythological veils or genuine deterrents wrought from stone and strategy. Some suggest that rather than physical traps, the true defenses lay in the psychological convergence of intimidating complexity and bewildering grandeur that painted a foreboding picture in the minds of would-be interlopers. Layered within this majestic facade lies the dialogue between permanence and impermanence. Not unlike these enduring stones guarding ancient ambitions, death remained an ever-looming presence. Thus, the architectural brilliance of safeguarding these hallowed spaces was not only born of reverence, but assurance giving the soul peace, knowing it rested beyond mortal reach. In a whimsical twist, consider the reality of courageous curiosity, were some of these raiders indeed frightened off by carved warnings or inscribed curses, where those who dared trespass risked the wrath of gods or entrapment in eternal oblivion. Such tales glimmer with theatrical flourish, offering quixotic lessons between the lines of history and folklore. As the night weaves its cloak across the land, return to this timeless expanse, where stone still harbors secrets whispered across millennia. Contemplate the ingenious creativity that wove life, death, respect, and defiance into tangible and hidden manifestos. Feel the permanence marshaled with purpose, crystallized along corridors to guard the echoes of lives once vibrantly spent. As you settle into rest, let your mind be captivated by the art of puzzling diversions, a symphony of silence conducting dreams of ancient schemers and their cryptic blueprints. Let yourself slip into sleep, wandering through the shadowy whispers encased in stone, where enticing mysteries of human craftsmanship cradle your thoughts in a breath of eternity. Dream of untangled paths, of life's design, entwined with nature's vast resting places, where the pharaohs yet roam amidst the mortal gaze of stars. Gently succumb to the artistry of forever, stories unencumbered by time, carried softly into a sweet slumber. Sweet dreams. As the sun stretches its golden fingers across the horizon, the pyramids bask in its warm embrace, standing proudly as time's enduring monuments. Yet beneath this timeless exterior lie stories waiting to be rediscovered by those intrepid enough to delve into modern-day mysteries. Today, let us find fascination in the discoveries and technologies that continue to unravel secrets of the pyramids, as curious minds and scientific marvels breathe new life into ancient history. Imagine yourself at the forefront of an archaeological dig, where the convergence of cutting-edge technology and ancient wonder unfolds before your eyes. The gentle buzzing of drones echoes through the air, mapping the pyramids from above with precision reminiscent of a falcon's gaze. These modern aerial companions offer a perspective once available only to the gods themselves, providing researchers unprecedented insights into the structure, layout, and surrounding landscape of these ancient giants. Feel the pulse of excitement that runs through a team of archaeologists, their faces illuminated by the glow of screens displaying infrared scans. These groundbreaking technologies allow scholars to uncover hidden chambers and voids that have guarded their secrets for millennia. The revelations unfold like pages of an ancient Tomich discovery, a sentence in the narrative of the pyramids, penned anew by the hands of seekers bound by curiosity. Picture the interdisciplinary efforts that bring engineers, historians, and scientists together in this quest to unlock millennia-old mysteries. The blending of disciplines allows us to gaze through the veils of time and space, using seismic waves and muon imaging to peer inside massive stones and unlock their hidden structures. It's as if these mighty edifices, stoically silent for countless generations, are finally whispering their tales on wings of digital sound waves. And within these modern-day quests, charming tales abound like the tale of a lone robotic explorer, snaking its way through the narrow shafts within the pyramids, armed with tiny cameras and tireless curiosity. This robotic archaeologist adds a twist of futurism to the ancient narrative, its trial and error entangled with both charm and intrigue. These technological pioneers become adventurers, scaling new heights and delving into recesses untouched for millennia, revealing stories that science fiction writers might well envy. Historians still argue whether some chambers uncovered by these methods were once purposeful rooms now obscured by history, or if they were mere architectural byproducts from an otherwise solved riddle. Each discovery incites debate, fueling a scholarly dialogue that resonates with anticipation, bridging the old with the new. Among these technical marvels, picture the gleam of human ingenuity, a fusion of lasers and light illuminating ancient inscriptions, allowing us to decipher texts long faded. Through digital enhancements, hieroglyphs regain their lost clarity, offering us glimpses into a forgotten world retold through the eyes of modern technology. As you reflect upon the harmony between modernity and antiquity, realize that these explorations not only reveal the story of the past, but mirror humanity's perpetual quest for knowledge. In seeking to understand our place in the grand tapestry of time, each discovery is a testament to our ever-evolving legacy. Close your eyes now, and let the gentle hum of discovery lull you into a gentle repose. Rest in the embrace of both ancient stone and modern light, their harmonious convergence, a bedrock for dreaming. Allow yourself to drift upon waves of curiosity that carry you into lands unknown, where whispers of sacred echoes and hums of digital wonder await. In this tranquil state, find comfort in the shared human journey that binds generations, unfolding mysteries like dreams woven through time's eternal loom. Sleep well, with visions of past and future entwined in gentle harmony, cradled within the heart of the ancients' art. Sweet dreams. As the desert dawn stretches out its rosy fingers, casting long shadows beside the pyramids, you find yourself amidst the chronicles of power shifts and legacy within the sands of Egypt. Here, in the shadows of these monumental edifices, you witness how the passing of dynasties impacted the scale, architecture, and ambitions of subsequent pyramid projects, a timeless dance of continuity and change that carries echoes of ambition and evolution. Imagine yourself strolling through the timeline of history, where each dynasty left its unique imprint in stone and narrative. The pyramids, though timelessly grand, reflect the changing aspirations of the rulers they were built to immortalize. Across the ages, these enduring giants evolved, mirroring the ebb and flow of power, the fluctuation of resources, and the shifting gaze of divine favor. Feel the whispers of the past as you step into the era of the Old Kingdom, where pyramids such as those at Giza testified to a powerful state driven by monumental aspirations. The sheer scale and grandeur of these constructions reflect a flourishing society under the gaze of divine kingship, a time when the Pharaoh wielded authority, transcending earthly bounds. But as you observe the march of time, you notice how these ambitions altered with the passing of dynastic torches. The Middle Kingdom shows a different temperament, wherein mighty pyramids give way to more moderate, yet symbolically rich constructions. Resources were redirected, priorities shifted, and the divine focus narrowed to reflect the philosophies of new rulers. Imagine the craftsman reimagining grandeur under different constraints, creating evocations of eternity out of fewer means but equal devotion. Trace your thoughts to the New Kingdom, where the art of pyramid building saw its legacy woven into the temples and hidden tombs of the Valley of the Kings, reinvention that conveyed power while adapting to the era's political and spiritual climate. The massive prominence of stone gave way to the meticulous beauty of intricately decorated tombs tucked into the embrace of ancient rock, blending tradition with innovation. Historians still debate the economic and social factors that drove these architectural and philosophical shifts, in the extent to which they reflected the ebbing tides of political power or were shaped by climatic challenges such as the inundation of the Nile. Was the shift to smaller, more hidden burial practices a response to grave robbing, a retreat into the sacred privacy of the afterlife? Within this historical panorama, humor isn't absent. One might imagine how certain pharaohs regarded their predecessors' monumental stone dreams with a chuckle, opting for more pragmatic, if not more humble, representations of their journey to eternity. Did such choices echo their contemporary cultural politics or personal preferences? The playful mutterings of justifiable economy, mixed with divine aspiration, often treaded similar paths across history's footprint. As you stand amid these silent chronicles of stone and ambition, absorb the stories as they unfurl across ages, how each adaptation, whether through intention or exigence, tells a broader narrative of civilization's resilience. The successors of Egypt's dynasties did not merely inherit stone creations, they inherited potential, reimagining the symphony of stone with their own nuanced melodies. With twilight beginning to trace its delicate path across the nebula of history, allow your thoughts to wander through this intricate dance of time. Feel the continuity of ambition tracing through your own dreams, where echoes of pharaohs blend with the flow of dynastic introspection. Let the gentle passage of time guide you into sleep's warm embrace, cradled within the legacy of an ancient world renewing itself with each generation. Rest in the cadence of continuity and change, dreaming of history's unfolding dance unbound by time, mirrored tenderly in the weave of stars above. Sweet dreams. As the twilight cloak settles gently over the vast expanse of the Egyptian desert, the pyramids emerge like sentinels from the shifting sands, timeless yet ever-evolving. In this subtle interplay of earth and sky, sight and shadow, contemplation turns to the natural forces that have shaped, protected, and over millennia, threatened these monumental marvels. You find yourself absorbed in the tale of how the relentless march of time and nature's whims have impacted these ancient structures. Let your imagination wander to eons past, where powerful sandstorms sweep across the Sahara, their gritty tendrils caressing the stones with an erosive touch. The pyramids have weathered such tempests countless times, their stone faces etched with the telltale lines of endurance. Stand amidst the swirling sands, feeling the granules brushing softly against your skeena, tactile reminder of nature's enduring embrace. Buffeted by the sands of time, the pyramids reveal an architectural prowess deeply intertwined with nature's cycles. The Egyptians were adept in their understanding of the land. The orientation and sloping sides were not merely aesthetic choices, but engineering marvels meant to withstand the natural elements. Yet, despite such foresight, the indiscriminate hands of erosion persist in their quiet work, whispering of the unstoppable force threading through the arc of time. Peer closely, and you'll catch the humor of unintended artistry. Once mountainous limestone casings reduced to cragged surface sesame might jest that Mother Nature decided to lend her artistic flair to these structures, recarving history with each sand-laden breath. The Nile's annual inundation and retreat exert their influence as well, contributing to the audacious tale of survival. Washed-out banks and shifting earth bear witness to an eternal dance between land and water, an annual renewal that has both preserved and challenged the integrity of these robust stones. Historians still muse whether climate shifts altered the river's flow, posing new trials to those stewards of the past. Were there seasons when the Nile raged, threatening to overstep its banks and encircle the pharaoh's eternal tombs with unyielding waters? Or was it the tender, nurturing hand that reinforced the fertile grounds in which these monumental giants stand? Ponder for a moment the theft of those gleaming outer casings, quarried not by history's storms, but by human hands in subsequent ages. These polished limestone veneers once captured the sun's light, casting a resplendent glow visible from miles away. Their removal changed both the aesthetics and structural exposure of the pyramids, leaving rugged blocks more susceptible to erosion's persistent rhythm. These transformations carry with them the silent stories of survival, a celebration of resilience, hard-woven into every fiber of history. Amidst this natural narrative, you might smile at fabled tales of explorers in new times, incredulous at navigating paths obscured by shifting sands and seasons, cracking jokes at the pyramid's weathered but ever-regal visage. As night drapes the land with its meditative calm, turn your thoughts toward appreciation and reverence for these ancient sentinels. Though nature continues to caress and sculpt their stone faces, the pyramids remain steadfast embodiments of resilience and continuity. Lay your burdens gently at the foot of these timeless wonders, resting within the gentle embrace of their symmetrical protection. Let your dreams be pathways through time, where you meander through corridors of memory softened by nature's touch. Close your eyes, carried into the arms of gentle slumber, by the whispers of warm breezes brushing against ancient stones. Dream of the dance between wind, water, and stoner rhythm, unbound by the mundane measure of years, a narrative that caresses the eternal, cradling you into a restful sleep beneath the starlit sky. Sweet dreams. As the sun's golden glow kisses the horizon, casting long shadows across the timeless expanse of the pyramids. You venture into a realm where the ripples of history spread far and wide, echoes of the pyramid's cultural impact that have reverberated across civilizations. These monumental testaments are not only architectural wonders, but have become potent symbols that reflect the aspirations, mysteries, and artistic imagination of numerous cultures throughout the centuries. Imagine standing at this crossroads of influence, where the pyramids have served as both muse and mirror to diverse peoples across the globe. They embody a resonance that transcends their physical form, a manifestation of humanity's relentless quest to achieve greatness, to reach for the heavens, and lay claim to eternity. Feel the stirring awe that these stone colossi evoke, inspiring generations of artists, writers, and dreamers to capture their majesty in mediums as varied as oil and ink. Travel through time to ancient civilizations that gazed upon the pyramids with wonder and drew from them inspiration for their own grand structures, such as the ziggurats of Mesopotamia. The influence of the pyramids stretched like a golden thread across continents, weaving through history's tapestry, coloring the narratives of empire and faith alike. Across the seas and centuries, the allure of the pyramids captivated the Greek and Roman minds. They wrote of their wonders with a sense of both reverence and inquisitiveness, often wrapped in the shroud of myth and the mystique of mysticism. In their writings, the pyramids became a canvas for storytelling, where gods and heroes embarked on legendary quests amidst these formidable constructions. Even through the medieval period, imagination wended its way through European lore, painting the pyramids as repositories of hermetic wisdom, guardians of alchemical secrets waiting to illuminate the world. Each telling imbued these ancient structures with a legacy beyond the confines of the desert sands, solidifying their role as enduring icons of human ingenuity and mystery. Reflect now on how the pyramids have permeated contemporary culture. Their shapes echoed in the towering silhouettes of modern skyscrapers, their form in a child's inspired, doodly familiar shape, reaching upward, steeped in symbolism and aspiration. The pyramids stand as metaphors for achievement and mystery, echoing through time as an enduring testament to human potential. Historians continue to debate the exact nature of this cultural reverberation, whether the fascination is driven by the pyramids' formidable architecture or by the allure of their enigmas. Do they capture our imaginations so vividly because of their sheer scale, or because they represent humankind's yearning to transcend earthly limits? In the whimsical corners of this journey, one might chuckle at the imaginary debates between ancient architects and their contemporary counterparts, marveling at how stone can bear such mighty dreams, while modern minds grapple with steel and glass emulations echoing through city skylines. It is all in the playful dance of stone shaping soul. Lingering here in the twilight of reflection, you comprehend the pyramid's significance beyond their physical grandeur. They are more than just tombs. They are symbols, vessels of dreams, crafted from an unyielding desire to reach beyond the tangible to embrace eternity. With the day gently settling into night's embrace, allow your mind to gently cradle these reflections, nestle among the collective dreams of those who came before, as you find yourself part of a continuing lineage inspired by these monolithic testaments. As sleep descends soft and serene, let dreams carry you through time's corridors, guided by the echoes of cultures united in wonder, where pyramids rise anew in the landscapes of your imagination. Dream now, embraced by the cultural echoes that continue to whisper stories transcending the ages, tucked sweetly beneath the starlit sky. Sweet dreams. As twilight deepens and the night sky scatters stars across its canvas, the pyramids stand as timeless sentinels, a testament not only to architectural prowess, but also to the profound symbolism they've garnered over centuries. In this quiet moment, explore the battleground of interpretation, where these stone giants have become more than mere structures, but powerful symbols in a myriad of narratives, each reflecting different facets of human curiosity and belief. Consider the many lenses through which the pyramids have been viewed. To the ancient Egyptians, they were tangible links to the divine, embodiments of cosmic order and pharaonic power, serving as beacons guiding souls to the afterlife. Envision the majesty of these monuments rising from the desert like immortal sunbeams, the pyramid's sides catching the dawnlight in a reflection of the eternal soul journey. As centuries passed, new stories and meanings enveloped the pyramids, weaving them into the lore of diverse cultures. For many, they became symbols of human achievement and ingenuity, a triumph over nature and a tangible legacy of human ambition. Across the span of time, they've been interpreted as milestones in humanity's quest for immortality, a legendary testament to the aspiration to bridge earth and heavens. Yet, the pyramids have also been the epicenter of debates and theories. Some suggest esoteric knowledge lies encoded within their stones, speculations that capture the modern imagination with notions of secret chambers, lost technologies, and celestial alignments. The pyramids become a blank canvas where speculative theories and narratives unfold, capturing imaginations in ways the original builders could scarcely have foreseen. Historians, too, continue to argue over the pyramids' roles. Were they truly vehicles of resurrection, or were their purposes more pragmatic, reflecting the political acumen and centralized power of their builders? Each theory is but a different lens, colored by the perspective of its time and prevailing cultural milieu. As we ponder, we join a lineage of thinkers entangled in the pyramid's enigmatic allure. This battleground of symbolism expands further into cultural expressions. Literature and film often portray the pyramids as mystical places, evoking images of hidden treasures, enigmatic curses, and epic quests. They draw us into imaginary worlds where stone steps lead not just to royal tombs, but to the heart of adventure and enigma, underpinning countless stories with the thrill of the unknown. In the realm of humor, one might entertain the notion of pharaohs, observing modern interpretations from some celestial vantage, amused at our audacious speculations. Perhaps they marvel at how their eternal guardians have morphed into icons of mystery and wonder, resurfacing in the minds of the curious and the dreamers. As dusk deepens into night and these stone titans exude quiet majesty, recognize the pyramid's symbolic resonance as reflections of broader philosophical queries, questions about time, memory, and the human urge to leave an indelible mark upon the world. They invite us to consider our place within the endless narrative of existence and explore the realms of possibility within stone's embrace. Now, as you gently close your eyes, allow yourself to journey through this tapestry of symbolism, drifting into a reverie where pyramids stand at the crossroads of imagination and history. Let the dreams you tread upon evoke awe and introspection, illuminating pathways through the storied corridors of time. Embrace the echoes of these debates, softened by nightfall, and let your thoughts swell and recede like whispers on a gentle breeze. Fall into sleep's serene embrace, your dreams guided by the pyramidal forces of imagination and eternity that weave through humanity's shared narrative. Sweet dreams. As the serene quiet of night deepens, the pyramids stand against the celestial dome, silhouetted guardians whispering tales of long-forgotten eras. This moment in time is a gentle invitation to reflect on the enduring allure of these majestic structures. They continue to whisper stories of ancient ambition, whispering to us through the corridors of time and dreams as whispers of eternity. Imagine, with the soft breeze carrying the scent of the desert, these stone giants are more than mere monuments of the past. They are symbols that resonate deeply within the collective psyche, a meeting point between earth and sky, and a testament to the dreams and ambitions of ancient minds who dared to touch the divine. Each stone, a piece of a puzzle longing to be completed, reverberates with the voices of those who laid them down with such care. Standing before these ancient monoliths, there's a sense of both beginning and ending, a cycle of rebirth and continuity that has transcended generations. The pyramids are vessels for stories, cradling the essence of humanity and holding within them the silent experiences of countless souls who have crossed their paths, each adding a thread to the tapestry of time. Let your imagination spread its wings, gently guiding you toward the future even as you delve into the past. Historians, dreamers, and wanderers like yourself still ponder the significance enshrined within these stone faces. It is a question that compels us to ask, what will the footprints of our today's actions leave for future civilizations to ponder? With the final embrace of night, as you contemplate these enduring wonders, find solace in the knowledge that the pyramids not only endure the ravages of time, but flourish within them. They serve as a reminder that throughout epochs of human endeavor, Beauty is often born from ambition, intertwined with the embrace of shared dreams. Now, as the night whispers its final notes, allow your thoughts to settle like dust at the pyramid's feet. You might find yourself lulled by the thought of perennial sands shaping every corner and telling endless stories, kaleidoscope of elegance spun from hand-measured stone. In this tranquil space, ease your thoughts into softer musings and let your dreams unfold beneath the sparkling constellations. Drift gently into a restful sleep, imagining the pyramids cradling your dreams as they cradle human experience, aligned under the vast canopy of stars, guiding you toward a sweet repose. Slip into a tender slumber, enfolded by the whispering winds of time, with the eternal pyramid standing sentinel over your night's journey. Their presence is a silent promise that history's embrace is as soothing as it is profound an ancient lullaby for the soul, echoing lightly under a starlit sky. Sweet dreams.